Raideo.
Okay, say your name nice and loud. I'm testing the volume.
And this is David coming at you live.
David, what's your name?
David.
What's your full name?
How long do you have?
Go ahead.
David Manuel Valencia.
That's not that bad.
Oh, that's just the short version.
DMV.
Noah Choy, what's your full name?
Noah Titus Choy.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Titus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the Roman general or Roman? It was an emperor,
be.
right? Titus. So you guys were just in a couple of sessions. David, what brings you here today? You had a couple of things that you were doing with Mr. Choi's class?
Yeah, no. I reached out to Mr. Choi saying that I could come in and talk about my experience in film, the stuff I did at VFS, even talking about stuff like structure, character, story to his film students. Hopefully help them out with their film class.
And how are the kids?
I mean, the first class was pretty all right. Second class, I think we had a lot more conversation, I think.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
So it went better, the second class.
Yeah, I think so. Because the second class had the full block, the first one only came in for the last bit.
So what was you were talking about structure? What do you mean by structure?
So it's structure is just what we call just how we map out plot in story.
Oh, okay.
So we have something called like the 3-act structure: first act, second act, third act, and it's just the different. We call them beats, or just moments inside of a movie that we as writers like want to hit. We want to include in our stories. I can go into that more if you want.
And Mr. Choi, your class is dealing with making movies?
That is correct. So David reached out, and just from his experience of being in my class, understanding, that developing a script, developing a screenplay is really important. And often students don't know how to write creatively. And the stories that they come up with generally are
Generic,
recycled, things that they only know. And it's really hard for them to develop something that is a very strong foundation, especially with character development and even just looking at plot, how to break it up, what type of formulas to use, some strategies. And so, David was using his experience to share it with my class. My film class right now, they're writing their outlines, they're coming up with their scripts, and we're producing each group their first short film. And we're trying to walk them through the filmmaking process, because I think a lot of them who don't have a lot of experience, they want to jump right into the fun stuff, which is hands-on filming things, going out and just being on location, but not understanding that so much of the success and the effectiveness of your film really starts from good writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah,
I definitely agree with it. Short films is kind of like how a lot of us actually begin our film careers. I think it's how I got into VFS. That asked me to write a short film was one of the first things that we did. But yeah, I think a lot of people kind of forget that simple is actually pretty good. It doesn't necessarily mean generic, but there's a lot you can do with just a really simple, character wants this, we get that. And,
so, like, before we get into it, because I'm really interested in your take on film and maybe talk about some films, because you have a podcast on film as well. When did you graduate from Delview?
2020.
2020,
which is
the pandemic year.
Yeah, that's right.
So, that was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it definitely was an experience.
So you never actually had the full graduation experience?
Not necessarily. I mean, we still did the, walking across the stage at ND. I still remember that we didn't do it as a full class. We did it alphabetically. So I graduated with none of my friends because everybody else got last names that are like the first half of the alphabet. So,
I see.
Are you sure you even graduated?
I don't.
We
think
don't
so.
even know.
I don't even know.
Is it legal?
If that was legitimate.
You had to
We'll have to check that.
You had to send me a diploma in like a plastic bag, so it was like sketchy.
plastic bag that's been fumigated. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I can't imagine. We felt so bad for you guys.
Yeah.
But hey, you made it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, you went to Vancouver Film School.
No, actually, I started with Douglas first.
Douglas, okay.
Yeah. I was continuing my creative writing degree there first. And
Yeah.
then kind of like 3/4 of the way through, I was like, I should go to VFS for a bit.
So that's interesting. You started with We were just talking about how important writing is. Do you feel that your creative writing courses at Douglas help you out with what you're doing in film?
Yeah, no, 100%. Just because we weren't working with cameras doesn't mean what I was learning wasn't relevant. We were still talking about pacing and what characters are good, what structure is good. Literally, like just years upon years of me seeing like a line that like goes like this and up and down just to map out how action and plot works. And yeah, no. Apart from that, I just met contacts through just going to Douglas to, talk about writing, having a group to write with, and just having an audience to read my work, which I just think is important for me developing. But yeah.
So how did you, were you already thinking about VFS when you were at Douglas? What made you switch?
I mean, I already wanted to go to VFS. I just wanted to start off simple first because mostly it was just my mom and my dad who was like, we should go to Douglas first before we do anything too rash. But I wanted to go into film before I even came into even Delview. I should know how to get there first.
Okay. And what was Vancouver Film School like?
It was really intense.
Yeah?
It's a 1-year program. It's pretty much on every single day I get in there. We were all, I think it was a class of 30 people cramped into like a small 1-floor like office space. Because as writers, we don't need that much space to work. And, not compared to actual film students. But yeah, no. I think the interesting fact I can tell you is that like maybe out of the 30 people there, only like 8 or 10 of us were like locals to Vancouver. And like even just a little bit. Yeah, even
that's interesting.
Majority of us came from Mexico, actually.
Really?
Mexico, Brazil, Portugal, I think, Spain. So I kind of regretted not paying attention to the Spanish class here at Delview.
That's interesting. I didn't know there were so many international students that went to VFS.
Yeah, no.
That's interesting.
Which is honestly like, that was my main worry when I realized like demographic, like, is everybody here going to be able to speak English in a writing class? But like, even though like obviously there was some like language barriers, I think that just shows how good your stories just have to be to like just not overcompensate that, but be more important than, spelling and grammar and whatever.
So just getting into what you do now, like you're done at VFS, right?
Yeah, I'm done at VFS. I'm done at Douglas, so I have both my degrees there.
Cool.
So now I technically work as a freelance animation writer and just a writing advisor for a couple different projects. So I found those jobs through an online site that was just casting a whole bunch of people for mainly animated content.
So what does that mean as a freelance writer?
It means I don't get paid.
It does. It means you're a mercenary.
That's right.
You get to go out there and find a work that kind of fits, your time, your flexibility, and
yeah, exactly.
get your foot in the door, get some experience.
Because that's the one thing I wasn't able to do at VFS because a lot of the writing we did was live action. And as a guy who's selling himself as an animation guy, when I got my one chance to actually interview at an animation studio, the first thing they asked me was, did you have anything animated to write, like written and produced? And I had to say no. But here's a bunch of live action stuff that I did write, and here's a couple of things that I could write. So ideally, once I'm finished with my freelance work, I'll have a couple produced credits to point out, be like, hey, look, I did a thing. I'm kind of legit.
So, sorry, what's the difference in terms of writing? What is the difference between animation and live action? Because it could be very similar depending on what you're doing, right?
Yeah, like the main difference is with animation, it's a lot more visual based. We can see that actually in lengths of scripts as well. With live action, you'll actually find that most pages of script you should translate to 1 page of script writing equals 1 minute of screen time. Whereas animation is usually closer to 1.5 to 2 pages of script. Okay. That's just because we're writing more dialogue, and it's because we're writing more description for animation. Another main difference between animation and live action, is there's a lot more. I like to say gag writing. I think I have a lot more fun writing that.
Like visual gags.
Yeah, visual gags, comedy gags.
Uh-huh.
I think the way they described it to me when I was talking to it in film school is it's done a lot similar to sitcoms. That's why we get really longer scripts, is because it's a lot of like back and forth dialogue that just fills up the page. But at the core of it, it's really a lot of the same things. We're still talking about structure. We're still talking about character. Yeah, there's supposed to be a start and an end, 3 acts. So
I see. Yeah. And you guys were mentioning about creativity and trying to get students to be more creative rather than recycling old ideas. How do you actually go about doing that these days? Because now we are leaning towards, a world where things tend to get recycled, and AI and social media and everything just keeps on recycling itself, memes and such, remixing. How do you get people to be more creative?
It's an interesting question, because I can tell you right now from the stuff I'm seeing being produced, there's a lot of really unique perspectives being shown. I like to say, like, if you're trying to find a really good idea, just look at the life you're living. Every single day is different. Just observe. I like people watching. Yeah. As a very introverted person, I do that a lot. Yeah. So I always just make up, this person's probably, a businessman on the mission. This guy might be an international criminal. And then, I just literally, exaggeration is always a really good way to do about it as well. Literally just being like, what would a day being late to school be like if the reason I'm late is because I've got hired by the government to be a government spy? I don't know. But yeah, I think I said this during Mr. Choy's class as well. But the best way to really have a good idea is just to do something you like. Because if you do something you like, you're going to do a lot of things inherently right, even though you don't know you're doing it right. Right. Yeah. Like, because I made a reference that the first thing I wrote here at Delview, it was a free open form, like, short story. Just like, do it, be descriptive. And I just wrote a fan fiction, essentially, of Die Hard. Yeah. And I remember Miss Farina, who I believe doesn't teach here anymore.
Miss Farina still teaches here.
She still teaches here?
Yeah.
Oh.
She teaches ELL.
Oh, good. Yeah. But yeah, I sent her this short story, and she looked at it and she said, like, these are some really, really good points, but like, you also see that, you use this descriptive language here, and you describe this and you describe this. I'm like, I just did it because that's just what stories I like do. I didn't realize I was supposed to do that. But yeah.
And Ms. Choy, like, as a teacher, sometimes I find it difficult to get kids to be creative. Just because they're surrounded by so many things that influence them. How do you get them to, like, especially in a class where you have to come up with creative ideas for a film or whatever? How do you go about doing that?
I often take the analogy of a library, and the more books and resources you have in a library of varying subjects, different genres, that gives you a lot of options to pick from. And I think our minds are very much like a library where we're storing data. And depending on the type of data that we're storing in our minds, whatever we're consuming, inherently that's going to lead to where your ideas come from. So if you're only watching, action flicks that always have a good guy, a bad guy, and in the end there's a shootout, that tends to be the ideas that a lot of groups kind of come up with. I've tried to come up with a list of, these are the subjects that you're not allowed to have in your script or your story, which are, can't have a bank robbery, can't have a drug deal, can't be about basketball, can't be about a heist, can't be about kidnapping, because it tends to be a lot of the stories that students will gravitate towards. And I find there is opportunity for character development, but I see it as a very surface level, again, the word generic, type of story that doesn't really open up for any kind of vulnerability. Right. And that vulnerability leads to a viewer being more engaged, caring about who that character is. And with the creative process, I think the struggle and I see and the challenge for a lot of students is the willingness to sit there and remove the distractions and really just start writing.
Right.
And a lot of writers, I think, will also approach just this flow of consciousness where you just start writing without any judgment. Ideas that might seem stupid can become really brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
Because it's planting a seed. How do you grow it? How do you develop it? How do you pivot as you're coming up with different concepts? And that creative process does require, if you are collaborating with people that you trust, that you feel safe with, that aren't gonna be negative and put down your ideas. And I think often that's really hard for students because we are very anxious or we fear what people say. So either we won't speak up, so we won't share the ideas that we have because we think it's dumb. We won't raise our hand in class and answer a question because I'll sound stupid. And also on the other side is because somebody's going to make fun of me. So that is already right at the beginning a barrier to how to be creative, right? And I can try my best to bring awareness to that in the class, but the creativity really does begin with what is it that I am consuming and how do I kind of look at my own life through observations. It's a lot of attention to detail, the nuances of what's happening around you, right? Whether it's politics, pop culture, family life, friendships, relationships, what's happening around me. And those are kind of the little elements that you start piecing together as part of the puzzle of how you come up with interesting ideas, something that people will stop and go, hey, like that, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's not only just with writing, filmmaking, photography, design, illustration. It's all about in the creative art, just how do you flip something so that as an audience, we really do stop and think about, I never thought of seeing it from that lens or that perspective. Right.
That's so true. Like I find a lot of the more creative kids and adults are more open to everything around them and they like to explore different perspectives. And I think, just like you said, if you're just watching Marvel movies all the time, that's your favorite thing, that's great. But you kind of have to open your eyes to other stuff as well. And that's how you get inspiration. And David, like you obviously went to film. Were there any particular films that opened your eyes to how this could be, how it could be so interesting for you to go into that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every single one, because a lot of the films that I watched coming into VFS were just animation, because I just loved watching that. I watched almost every single Disney, Pixar, Ghibli. But I still remember the first movie they showed us as like, we're going to cover the genre of drama today. We're going to watch Misery, I believe it was.
Oh, okay. The Stephen King novel.
The Stephen King one,
yeah.
which is about like the scriptwriter just locked inside like a cabin or whatever, shotgun lady. And I'm like, wow, this is really, really fun. It was tense. It was dramatic. It was, one was shot just inside of a cabin. It was great. And the thing is, like watching animation, watching live action, animation is always a lot more bombastic, I think. Live action, you get really, really intimate. A lot of the excitement comes from dialogue and just seeing how the actors just portray characters. After that, I think there was another one we watched called The Crying Game as well.
Yep. There's a surprise in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big surprise in that one. That one I had to write a report on.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah, no. But yeah, like I genuinely do agree. I definitely recommend going out of your favorite genres to watch different kinds of films. I've been trying to do that a lot more now whenever I'm looking at like Cineplex and Landmark to figure out, what movie should we watch? Again, I still like my good animations, but the one I'm going to be watching really, really soon is Iron Lung.
Oh, I heard good things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the Markiplier movie. It's going to be horror, which is my, I want to say hated genre, but I can never watch it. I have to do that with somebody I know I can like hide behind.
Right.
But yeah, like I just want to see how different ways like stories present themselves.
Yeah. As soon as you said horror, the lights turned off in here.
Yes.
We're recording the library, which has motion detect. They're just trying to save money, just trying to save energy. So the lights turn off once in a while. So thanks, Mr. Choy, for turning them back on.
I think that's a good point. Like when you mentioned moving out of your comfort zone, I think a lot of people tend to gravitate towards certain genres. Like I love comedy. That's something that, because I find with comedy, the writing in it is sometimes a commentary about things, and it's just the wittiness of how things come together. But watching things that you normally wouldn't watch, because then you get different ideas and you kind of see connections. And again, creativity is about where are the connections in life that you can piece together that you never saw possible before. And that's the juxtaposition of how art is created and using your imagination.
Yeah. Because that was the premise of the podcast that me and my co-host at VFS created. I'd recommend him animated movies to watch because he doesn't normally watch animation, and then he'd recommend me live action movies to watch because I don't normally watch live action.
What is your podcast called?
Jay and Dave went to film school podcast.
Jay and Dave. So Jay is your friend?
Yeah, Jay's my friend. His name's Jason.
Jay and Dave go to film school?
Yeah, Jay and Dave went to film school.
Went to film school.
Past tense.
Went to film school.
Yeah.
And what films have you guys talked about on that podcast?
Quite a few. I think we're up to like 17 episodes now.
Oh wow!
I think so. Yeah. We try to cover. When we started off, we just did our favorite movies that we were watched, but then we started doing genre films, short films as well. We've done. I think my favorite film that I've watched that he recommended me, I've forgotten the title completely, but it's a British movie where it's just a guy driving his car down a highway, and it's just a series of phone calls he has.
Lock.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, with Tom Hardy.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a terrific movie.
I know. It was like it was so intimate. You just like you can just see 3 different stories playing out just in the different phone calls he's done.
It's amazing how, because there are some movies like that. There's another one with Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if you've seen it. I forget what it's called, but he's like in a coffin the entire movie.
I don't think I've watched that one.
I think it's called Buried or something. But it's a similar idea where it's like minimalist. There's like one setting, and the whole drama takes place with him. It's just like kind of like Locke, where like it's all taking place and there's stuff happening, but it's all over phone calls and things coming from outside that are affecting him emotionally. There's another one with a what's his face, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Where he's like a cop and he is at a call center and he has to deal with a kidnapping, and it's all him talking to people trying to get help for these people who have been kidnapped. But it all takes place in a call center. I kind of like those kinds of things because to me, the constraints that make that really creative, how they solve the problems, because he can't go anywhere, he's stuck there, but how does he solve the problem to try to get help for these people, right? I kind of like that.
Like, I'll tell you what, if we're going back to the original question, how you generate ideas, restrictions is a really great way of doing that. I still remember one of our projects at VFS was writing scenes of tension, and we were forbidden from using weapons at all, because it's a lot easier to create tension when you whip out a gun. So some of us did a lot of drama scenes. My scene was, it was 2 best friends meeting up. One of them has a lie, and the other person knows that they've been lying to them, and you're just trying to see if they come out with the truth.
No weapons.
No weapons.
It's like that. Have you seen that episode of The Office where Michael Scott is taking improv classes, and every time in the middle of a scene, he'll pull out a gun? Because it's the element of surprise. So it doesn't matter what it is, like 2 people hanging out, all of a sudden
Gun comes
he pulls out a gun.
Yeah, that's the opposite of
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Yeah, that's totally true. And then I find that in teaching as well. When you add constraints, even if it's artificial constraints, whether it's time constraint or criteria constraints, or if when we're doing presentations, it's like you only get 10 slides to tell your story, and they're only 10 seconds each, and then go. I find you get much more creative stuff. It's like, and my experience with that presentation with the grade 8s has been, I started off just giving them all the time in the world, and I found it very lackluster. It's only when I put those constraints on where they started practicing and making sure that everything was timed well, and it was only the stuff that was needed that was said. So yeah, it does really help a lot when you have the right constraints put on something.
Yeah.
So Jay and David.
Yeah, Jay and Dave went to film
Jay
school.
and Dave.
Yeah.
Is that a nod to Jay and Silent Bob?
No.
No, okay.
It just
Kevin
happened.
Smith.
Kevin Smith, yeah. Because if you're talking about films and indie films and a lot of just how
Maybe you're Silent Bob then.
yeah.
Maybe. Because, like, I know
Are you familiar with those films?
I
Okay.
have to be. Because, like, living in Vancouver, going to film school, like, Kevin Smith was just a VFS alumni, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so.
And, like, I go to Toy Traders a lot in Langley, and his face is just all over the place. I'm like,
He seems to always be around.
He is just always around for some reason. Yeah. So
Didn't he save the Rio, or was it?
Yes.
Yeah, did he?
Him and Stranger Things.
Finn Wolfhard.
Yes, because he was at the showing of the movie.
Okay.
So Finn showed up at the end of the
At
show.
Park.
At Park, yeah.
Yeah, he saved Park.
He saved
yeah.
Park, right?
Yeah.
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 I think it was.
Because they were going to close that one down. Yeah. I've actually never been to Park Theater. Have you been to that one?
I don't think so.
I've been to Rio, but for a comedy festival.
Yeah, no,
Park
the
is
re-
on Canby and like 20th or something, 18th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, the theaters here are really, really beautiful whenever I go into them. But, like,
Yeah, I still love
Yeah.
going to the theater once in a while. If it's a movie, I usually go to like movies that it'd be nice to see it on the big screen. I can't miss it. So I'll book those tickets and see it on IMAX or whatever. Because some movies, if you like F1, if you see that on TV, okay, that's good.
yeah, but you have to watch it in IMAX. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some movies you just have to see in IMAX. Yeah,
It was the Rio Theater that he saved.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And then I think Finn put in money for the park.
There was somebody
theater.
else he was partnering with. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because I will say that's the one element of like writing I haven't touched yet at all. Writing for live theater, and I've always wanted to do that. Yeah, unfortunately, like that was one of the things I was supposed to do when I was here at Delview. Mr. Turpin had a script writing class for theater,
Right.
but pandemic happened and we never ended up doing it.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes. Pandemic again.
Because we were talking about in that second semester, David and his film class that he was in with me, they were developing. They had actually already started, but the script that they were filming was about a underground Pokemon operation,
Yeah.
or like a black market.
Underground.
So it
Okay.
was in high school. It was based out of high school. So kind of like a fight club, but for Pokemon card playing.
Yeah, it very much was. Like I think the protagonist was like financially indebted to win this fight to like reclaim her honor or something like that.
Yeah, we had filmed quite a number of scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
We had
you
this
filmed it,
big-
so you have like some raw
No,
footage.
we don't have the raw footage anymore
Oh,
because they re-imaged all the computers by the time we got back from the pandemic, and then
it's lost to
it's
time.
lost.
Yeah,
But we
it's
had
lost
this.
to
Yeah, the big scene was in the drama studio with all the lights off, spotlight in the middle, two tables or one round table, I can't remember, and then two students that were facing off, and we had a ring of students sitting around or standing around and cheering for the competitors. Yeah.
So I think the only media left that is just the yearbook photos we took for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I see. Do you ever for your film class? Do you guys ever go on location or like leave the school to film stuff? I know that's probably really difficult because a lot of student films, of course, take place in the school, right? And so you kind of have to make it interesting for people. You kind of have to make it up that it's some other place. Because I remember there's a stupid Arnold Schwarzenegger film I saw once.
6 Day.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. I saw it at Tinseltown.
Yeah.
And
You were in Tinsel?
I was at Tinseltown. I was at Tinseltown watching this movie, and in a chase scene, they flew past Tinseltown, and I'm like, this is like the whole movie was scenes of Vancouver, and I could tell it's Vancouver, and it just took me completely out of it. I was like not interested.
They were using the Central Public Library as the headquarters of the science lab or whatever.
I'm like, that's not a science lab. That's our library.
SFU at the Quad.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the things that is really difficult to watch movies sometimes and not go, hey, I know that place.
Because for the Friday podcast, I had to watch Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan.
Right, and that's New York, but it's not.
That's right.
There's literally a scene where they're like at Stanley Park. It's supposed to be the Hudson River, but you can like clearly see the floating Chevron gas station.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have students just on their own accord taking initiative to sign out gear and then film outside of school.
Yeah.
And that would be on their own time.
Yeah.
And again, just I think with any of your motivation and what you put into your craft is just a matter of how much more do you want to do. And that's, again, just the difference between proficient and extending. True. I had a group of students last year create a film. It was called John Pork is Calling. And they decided to film outside and actually film it on location at someone's house so that they would actually be on set where it looked like a place where somebody lived and they were returning home. And I think that's just really helps enhance when you're on location. So not everything looks like
school.
Yeah,
because everybody knows this place so well, right?
It's the same colored walls.
Yeah. I remember and this was for French class, we did videos, and that was the most fantastic thing. That's why at some point in my high school life, I was like, oh, I really want to go into film. That would be so cool, when I was not sure what I was going to do. But we did for projects, and don't ask me why this was part of French, but for a project, we got to make French videos, and we would actually write a script. We got totally into it, my friends and I, and we filmed like 3 films on VHS tape, edited on VHS, like when you had like decks of VHS tapes and you'd copy one to the other and it would deteriorate over time. So we did all these films in French, and they were all scripted, and they were lots of fun to film. And I thought, I mean, I could still watch it today and go, oh, I remember when we were filming in the Minru Nature Park, and we actually got permission to film at the airport. There's like a hostage scene.
Oh, wow.
You can't do that now. You can't. So we had 2 guys in trench coats carrying one of the students through the airport with fake weapons and stuff. You totally can't do that now. But yeah, that was like in the 90s. That was so much fun. So in film, what kind of, have you worked on a film set?
No, that's the unfortunate thing. I never had that chance yet.
Right.
Because number one, I am an animation person. So my film set is my office. But VFS did offer that. It was a course called Producing for Writers, which means us script writers just became directors, camera operators, actors, and whatever. It was a limited one. I just didn't get a spot, unfortunately, because our class was just that big. But I just knew the different stories. Pretty much a lot of the different guys who did the films there just called me to ask, like, can you look at my film? Because I was just outside of it. I was just a completely neutral party. But yeah, the stories they told me, it was all intensive. A lot of their primary filming, which is at the time they shoot the film, like 2 days, 3 days. Wake up there in the morning, don't go home until nighttime. It was fun. But yeah, no, it was demanding for them.
Yeah.
And you're working on a project right now.
Yeah, I am working on a project right now.
What are you working on?
Yeah,
can you tell us?
I can. Yeah, it's
okay.
It's like publicly available information because we have our own Instagram and like YouTube now. But it's going to be an indie animated series called Silver Lake.
Silver Lake.
Yeah, 2D animation. I think we're going to be doing hand drawn. I think, or at least hand drawn assisted with like computers. But it's heavily inspired by Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay.
The way I
Oh,
describe
I
it,
love the animation Gravity Falls.
yeah, the way I would describe it is like two siblings go to a weird place in the Californian woods. They encounter a bunch of monsters and creatures that they are fascinated with,
Uh-huh.
and they end up befriending them and then eventually defending them from an evil agent organization.
Cool.
Yeah.
There is a movie called Under the Silver Lake. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
It's with
but-
Andrew Garfield. It's actually a really good movie. Very mysterious and weird stuff happens in it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's called Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's honestly like a running gag we have with like my team when I'm
Uh-huh.
working there. It's just like all the different things are already called Silver Lake. I'm like, hey guys, it's already been made. There's a whole actual place in California named after that.
It's like
Yeah, maybe.
Springfield.
Yeah, it's like a generic lake name. That's cool.
So your role in it is writing episodes or parts of episodes.
Yeah, so technically speaking, the role they gave me is a lead writer, which is just meaning like it's not the actual like role definition of a lead writer, like where I'm like managing a whole like slew of different things. I'm mostly just managing 4 other, I like to call them junior writers, where we're just collaborating on the same script to just bang it out for our episodes. So we currently have a teaser that we wrote that's just going to come before the pilot. It's almost like an episode 0 that took us, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks to write as well. Several different drafts later, we sent it off, and now it's getting storyboarded. The animatic's done now. It's just going off to final animation. But yeah, it's a freelance job. I'm not getting paid for it. But yeah, because I just found it through an online site. It was a really good group of people that I found.
But it's to your credit, so
Yeah, it's to my credit. Yeah,
that's a good thing to have.
because yeah, that's at least what I want to have. It's just a produced thing that can point out, be like, hey, I helped make this. You know, these are all the soft skills. These are all the things I did. So if you want to pay me for the same thing, I'm happy with that.
And like you said, like writing is so important. Like any show, any movie that you watch, it doesn't matter what type of media the writing is the most important thing. If you don't have that, then it doesn't matter if the acting is great, if the cinematography is good. I mean, people want to see a story play out.
Because I'll tell you what, a really good example of a movie with a really big budget, but like kind of
Yeah.
lackluster writing is like Phase 4 Marvel right now.
Goodness. I'm not looking forward to Doomsday, even though there's a lot of hype and they've brought back all the old characters apparently. Yeah, Disney's just a marketing machine right now.
Oh man, I like that. Like as an animation guy, just hearing that there's gonna be like another live action remake, I'm like, when are we gonna go back?
Well, yeah, that
Yeah.
bothers me as well. Disney, I don't know what is with Disney. I mean, they still have once in a while something creative going on, but it's just, it feels like they're in a desert right now and just they're out of ideas, recycling old ideas.
Yeah, like even you can even see it in their theme park rides now as well. Like I heard
Yeah.
the new what is it? What's the log flume ride that was used to be there? Splash Mountain. That's it.
Splash Mountain, yeah.
Got remastered to be the Tiana's Bayou, and
Right.
that thing has no story apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know that much about it. I thought it was an interesting concept to turn it into that, though, because I always thought Tiana deserved a ride or some mention somewhere in the park because
Yeah.
it was such a cool New Orleans kind of setting, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and they use none of it apparently for the new ride.
Really?
Yeah, no, apparently people are comparing it, like the plot of it, to be like almost a Disney Junior episode. Like
Oh.
apparently the whole thing is you're going to a party and you get shrunken down to the size of a bug, and then
Oh.
you don't get to be the size of a bug because Mama Odie returns you to normal, and then you tend the party. That's kind of it.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I felt so disappointed because I feel like the climb up, so the drop, they should just use like Dr. Facilier. They should just done the song "Are You Ready?" Like
Mhm.
it just wrote itself, but it didn't do that.
So I think once again, when you have too much money and too few
Yeah.
constraints, you get less creative. I think A24,
Oh,
that company is putting out some amazing stuff, right?
Yeah, no,
All those films that they put out, I
'Cause-
watch everyone and love them.
and I respect them so much because they do both animation and also live action as well.
They do animation?
I think they do.
I haven't
yeah.
seen an A24 animation.
I should pull up the list because I can't remember which ones have done it, but they're all
Oh.
like really like independent, like really beautiful things.
Yeah. They feel like indie films.
They really
Yeah.
do. Like even like because Everywhere, All at Once is kind of the one that put it on the map. I think
Everything Everywhere all at once. Yeah.
I had to watch it for the Asian representation, but it jump started like Ki-hei Kwan is like now like back to being like an actor because of that movie. Like I'm happy that they're like funding like smaller people.
Yeah, but just, I mean, we talked about things that open your mind up to different perspectives, and they're certainly doing that. Whereas Disney right now, it's like they're in a deep desert that, hopefully they change that because it's not impressive what's coming out of Disney.
Yeah. But apparently like there might be some light on the horizon because apparently they reopened up a Disney studio here in Vancouver. Yeah, animation. So we'll see what happens with that. So might be my original dream to go back to work with them when
we have some really good studios around here, right? ImageWorks is here.
Yeah, ImageWorks, Bardell's here. There's probably a couple other ones I can't come to mind right now.
Yeah.
Oh, Sony.
Oh yeah, Sony. There you go.
Sony ImageWorks.
Is Lucas Light Industrial?
I think so.
Here?
I think there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Apparently, I think some of K-pop Demon Hunters got made here. I think.
Really?
Yeah. No. I was able to go to.
Is that Sony?
Yeah,
that is Sony.
That is Sony. Yeah. When I was at Andarevo, which is the anime convention that goes here, I just randomly bumped into somebody that said they worked on the movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, he showed us stills. Apparently, he worked in the scene that my friend really liked, so that was really fun. But yeah,
I just started watching that. I'm not done yet.
Yeah. I did.
It's
say,
good. I like it.
Yeah, I know. I personally hope it doesn't win Best Picture at the Oscars.
What's your Best Picture?
For the animation category, it has to be Little Amelie and the character of Rain. I know.
What is that?
Whenever I tell people about that movie, they've never watched it. You have to watch it. If I had to sell it to you, it's a Belgian family living in post-World War II Japan. They give birth to a kid who only gains consciousness after eating white chocolate. She believes she's God, and then she bonds with her Japanese housemaid, and it's just her life growing up as like a really young kid in Japan.
Okay, I don't know what you just said. Does not compute right now.
I know,
but I will look it up.
The plot, yeah. But it was beautifully done, and it was emotionally I cried during that movie. It was great. But yeah, I watched it at VIF, if you know what that is.
Vancouver International Film Festival.
That's right.
Did you watched it at their theater?
I watched it.
How was their theater? I've never been there.
It's honestly really nice. It's both. They got lower seating and balcony. So
cool.
Whenever I go there, I always like going to the balcony because it always feels kind of fun to watch the big screen from above.
Yeah.
But their sound system is good. Their chairs are really nice. Yeah. I still do their student pricing actually because technically my student ID hasn't expired from Vancouver Film School.
Oh, okay.
But even still, their regular pricing is not that bad. It's almost comparable to Cineplex.
I heard the seats are very comfortable.
They're very nice. They recently renovated. They're very proud of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, some of my VFS classmates just volunteer there as well. So
I see.
Yeah, I would too if it wasn't out there and I live here. So
yeah. What are some other animations? Flow? Did you watch Flow?
Flow was great.
That was awesome. Apparently all done in Blender?
Yeah. No, it's the game engine. So it was really
game engine.
Yeah, Blender is a game engine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You can make game stuff with it. Yeah.
But yeah, I love silent storytelling, especially in animation. Here's the interesting thing because I work at Indigo. They recently adapted Flow to be a storybook for kids.
Okay.
And I thought they did a pretty all right job, just writing out what these animals were thinking about during those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's a weird movie, but it's a really, really fun movie.
Yeah, it was really well done. Wild Robot?
Wild Robot's great as well. I'm really, really biased to movies about robots that care for nature for some reason. I love Wall-E.
Iron
Iron Giant.
Yeah.
What was that other one? There's one with Tom Hanks where it's also doing a robot in a desert situation.
Oh, but that was live action, wasn't it?
That was live action, but I still liked it because it was a robot.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's the one kind of AI that I'm happy is in film.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot of creative animated films. And of course, Ghibli.
Oh, yeah.
I got to go to the Ghibli museum
right?
because you have to
You have to book
You wake up early
like
on a certain
month,
day.
a month ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have to get online. So we
Yeah.
had like iPad, 2 computers, all our
Did you go
devices.
to the museum or the park? 'Cause
The
there's like a
museum.
museum. Yeah, I think my
Yeah.
my family went to that one when they were in Japan.
Yeah, because there is a park as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
still,
it's cool.
yeah, I still want to pitch that idea to somebody in like the Vancouver Council just to open up a museum just for animation. Because like it's
That'd be
just
amazing.
it's just an art museum. You just take any background
Well,
for any movie.
Even
put it in a
just
frame.
like a museum that shows us the history of filmmaking
Yeah.
in
In
Vancouver,
Vancouver.
or just a little
Hollywood
BC,
North.
right?
Yeah,
There's
I'm-
so much history of like when you go around, it could really help with tourism,
I know,
right?
right?
My son plays hockey at the Agrodome,
Hmm.
and the Agrodome has been used for so many like well-known movies.
Mm.
Rocky IV,
What?
right?
Really?
So that was used as the final fight,
Oh, okay.
and they have filmed.
I can't remember what
what was
Rocky 4 was.
It's the Russian
get-
Drago.
That was Rocky 4? Really? Rocky? I know the
So the
first Rocky.
the final
The
fight
second
happened
Rocky
there.
was Apollo. Third Rocky was... Isn't it Rocky 3 then?
It's
second one was
whatever
Apollo.
is USA versus Russia.
I get them all mixed up.
Yeah, but that's a great idea. Just having just the history of animation and filmmaking in Vancouver.
Yeah, because the closest one you can get to something like that is in Seattle. I think it's like the MOA.
Yeah.
Museum. Or the
MOPA.
MOPA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which used to be a music museum
that's right.
that really did showcase and exhibit a lot of the Pacific Northwest music scene with Jimi Hendrix, Nirvana, Soundgarden. Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I tell you what, like if you open up a museum, there's not going to be any drought of like artifacts to put in there because pretty much all the professionals I know just have a prop in like their basement that they just like turn off.
I think we're just not, for some reason, there aren't a lot of fantastic museums up here. There's lots in the States. Like one of my favorites is Gulf of Georgia. That cannery is really cool. And then there's the mining museum in
Britannia.
Squamish.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like Vancouver Museum is pretty neat too.
Yeah. Chinatown storytelling.
I haven't been to
those-
that one.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Science World to some extent, but not really.
Been there too many times.
We live in a beautiful part of the world where
Yeah.
people don't want to be indoors when you're in the
I think that's what
summertime.
it is, yeah.
We just want to be
Tourists
outside.
come here,
Yeah.
they want to go up to the mountain and ski or hiking or those kinds of things, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like now I just wake up, I see like the mountains and snow claps and, the forest. I'm like, it's there. But I tell people about it. It's like, wow, you live there? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah. Whereas if you go to other places like big cities, there's nothing else to do, but you have to have some big museums or tourist attractions in the city. So
Yeah, that's my reaction when I went to New York. It's just like big skyscrapers, like dirty streets. I'm like, wow, this is a crazy place to be
Yeah.
in. And then like I talked to New Yorkers, like, this is where I'm from. Like, wow, forest.
it's so different.
I know.
But I love New York so much. There's so much to do there.
Mhm.
The Met, I love museums. I really feel like now that I know like what the deal is with them, I need to like plan out like at least 2 days for any museum I go to.
Yeah, the Met could take a week, 2 weeks, like to look through all of that.
I'm the kind of guy who actually will like read the plaques of the artifacts. and
Oh,
stuff.
so am I.
You know,
So am I. Like,
I always
I'll be
feel-
reading it,
yeah.
and my kids have
Yeah.
finished the museum. They come back to me like, "We're done." I'm like, what?
I'm ready on just like one piece of pseudo armor.
Yeah.
So do you like history?
I do love history.
Okay.
Like as a writer, I kind of have to.
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can literally just show me like any trivia game show and be like, that is the most interesting thing I've heard about in a while. Like, yeah.
Do you listen to like history podcasts?
I watch history YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of like really fun animated ones that just like do it like at like history really simply.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, for some reason I now know a lot about how the feudal Japanese shogunates worked. I know a lot about the Crusades now. World War II, something I've covered like a lot. So
Did
yeah.
you watch Shogun?
I've seen clips of it. Like me and my dad watched a couple bits of it. I don't.
I
think
like that show.
Yeah.
It was a good show. Yeah. I think I saw the one in the 80s as well. but I was too young. I don't remember anything. But the latest one was really, really well done.
Yeah, no. Like, I do want to do because this is a really interesting thing. I did a script writing competition once for something called NYC Midnight. The format they do is they randomly give you a genre, a character, and like a story element to put into it. We got historical fiction for my script.
Yeah.
I did it on Meiji era of Japan, which is when Japanese was becoming more and more westernized. So you kind of have like this thing where you have like really cool like pagodas and like, traditional architecture, and then you contrast that with like a steam locomotive going through the town, you know, concrete buildings, automobiles alongside rickshaws. It's a really interesting time to be alive. And we just did a whole script on shogun at that point.
Cool.
Samurai who no longer have like a home, being picked up by westernized Japanese people on a train. So yeah, and we ended up becoming a runner-up for that one actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Are you into a lot of anime? I know your sisters are.
Yeah,
like
no,
Demon
like,
Slayer and I don't know, Spy Family, that kind of stuff.
Like I always tell this to people that like I tell myself as an animation guy, like I don't watch a lot of anime, not because like I dislike it. It's just because I have so much other stuff to work through. But ever since I started making friends at like VFS in college, a lot of them just ended up becoming like just being weebs. So I started watching.
Explain weebs to people.
I can't. No, anime nerds essentially.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm starting to watch Sakamoto Days on Netflix right now. I'm watching a little bit of Demon Slayer because I watched the movies.
Yeah.
And I thought they were really, really cool, even though I had no idea what was going on. Jujutsu Kaisen, no idea what's going on when I watched that movie. But yeah, no, anime is really, really fun. Like, it feels so different from Western cartoons. And like, I was reading this on like a news article on animation that like people in our side of the world are wondering why we aren't as successful as anime. Because like you can think of there's anime cons and like you can go to any anime con, like half the people there are cosplaying anime characters.
Yeah.
But it's like one or two people dressed up as like Finn from Adventure Time or like a Dipper character. Like that's like scattered about. And like we're wondering why we aren't the same. And I think it's really just comes down to like really not only action, but really fun and quirky characters where I kind of feel like in Western cartoons we're a little bit more tame. For some, it kind of feels weird to say that. But yeah, no, I still think they're both equally as good personally. I just think just anime has just a little more edge of just being not only episodic, but just so available in our pop culture like zeitgeist.
Have you sought out animated films from other countries?
I have, yeah. I watch a lot of short films that are from different countries. There is I should send you a link to this actually.
Sure.
But I think it's Vietnam. It's literally apparently a small studio that just pumps out like 20-minute short films about like different bits of it.
Okay.
Some of the stuff I've seen is like really, really beautiful because they talk about like mythology from the Vietnam culture, history of like colonialism. It was great. What else have I watched? Like South America produces really, really cool short films as well. Again, like a lot of the really cool short films I've seen that are like fantasy are just on like mythological creatures from their respective cultures, which I just think like that is something that we should be tapping into more as an industry. Because I think that's just a really cool way of just exploring people's different culture, just through different folk tales. But France is really good. Japan, of course. Iran also, I think, also is pretty good. I've seen a couple of them from there that talk about like the war and like war-torn region.
So there's like a website. You said send me a link. Is there like a website of animated films from all over the world? Because that'd be cool.
There are curated lists.
Yeah.
I've done one actually. I don't know if you have a letterbox or know what it is.
I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it just people just compile lists of just different countries as well. You can filter it by which country produced it.
Yeah. I had a letterbox. I updated it a couple times and then I just got tired.
You just click.
I just got tired. Yeah. It's not updated anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I don't do social media at all. So when I figured out like letterboxes, think like, okay, this is just what I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
I like being able to judge my friends based on the films they watch.
Maybe that's why I don't do it.
Yeah. No, I think right now we're like I just think about my own kids and how lucky they are to be able to watch films, read books where representation of themselves
Mhm.
is so much more normalized, or I don't know if that's the right word, but definitely representation matters for them. That they can see themselves in films, they can see themselves in stories that take place in the past, but also in the present. And I don't know if that's something that you really think about a lot. Just
No,
the diverse amount of like stories out there that are being told.
See, I think that's like an underestimated part of storytelling. It's just the sheer power of it. Like I told you, like a lot of my classmates were from places that didn't speak English, and they watched cartoons or TV shows, and they learned how to do English that way, which is kind of incredible to even think about that. Like a fictional thing could have that much impact on a person's life. There are other stories, people like, I relate to this character so much. They brought me out of a dark space in my life. It was a comfort character. I saw myself. And just kind of like being in an industry where I can create content that can have that impact on people is really, really cool. Because, I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going to be a police officer. I'm not going to do anything cool like that. But like to just have even like me being able to help in that small capacity just is a lot of honor on me. So that's why I hold myself to such a high degree when it does come to my writing.
Well, listening, I think for Mr. Kung and I, listening to you, just being so well spoken and being so passionate about what you love to do in writing and just being involved in the film process and all of that work. I think I do see, just the ambition that you have where it's really coming out. And knowing you, David, from your years at Delview, you've always been a very soft-spoken, quiet, introverted individual.
No, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Right, and just to be able to hear you be so excited about what you do, and what you get to be participating, contributing in. So, where do you kind of see yourself moving forward? What are kind of your ambitions and dreams for what you do?
The baseline for me, just to be like a functioning human being, like an adult, like later on, is just a paid job in film. And that's luckily just going to be a TV writer's job. Just get into a writer's room, start working on episodes, crack those out. But like the aspiration after that is just to start my own show. Pretty much every single person that goes into any film has to think about what kind of pilot they want to make, what kind of show they want to make. And, we work through that. A lot of film programs in BC do development of those stories. So when I went to VFS, I had my own that I've developed. And eventually it still holds close to my heart. And it's something I do want to tell as a story to people. I can say it. It's called Arctic Agents. It's animated. It's going to be about if the concept of it was just like looking at James Bond films or Jason Bourne or the other JB spy names out there, and just seeing like they're like one-man armies. What if a spy wasn't? What if they had to rely on a partner that wasn't as cool as them? And that was the development of why I wanted a show to be about a really clumsy, very introverted, very awkward human and a super cool penguin spy. And that's the whole dynamic. Every single agent is an agent duo of an animal and a human. The main protagonist is the only one who is the awkwardest person out of all of them. And it's just him learning to be a really good spy. While fighting monsters and evil villains in a fictional Antarctica, because I just want to be fancy like that.
Fictional Antarctica.
Yeah, no. It's a rabbit hole I went down. Apparently, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes down in Antarctica, and I feel like I can set something there because nobody really thinks about that continent at all. So I can be like,
yeah,
it's ignored.
Unless someone wants to claim it for themselves.
Mr. Lobman's been there, but he's the only one I know in my whole lifetime of knowing people.
Here's a history fun fact. The discovery of the South Pole was a race between a Norwegian explorer and a British explorer. The Norwegian brought skis to get to the South Pole. The British person brought a horse. One of them died. Can you guess who?
Was it a snow horse, though?
Well, I think your premise of the show really works. And that's where character development, a character that as an audience you can really root for. And I can see a character that is awkward and clumsy we can identify with that because
Yeah.
that's real life.
Yeah.
And so when we see a character on screen that's like that, you go, I'm rooting for that person
Yeah.
because they're going to overcome the things that are going to be inspirational, right?
Well, yeah. Anything you watch or read, you're reading and watching it through your own lens, right? So there has to be something that connects with people, and a lot of people would connect to that for sure,
No.
right? Have you ever thought of like, because not that you would have to because you're Filipino, but you were talking about a lot of mythology and Vietnamese films and things like that, of bringing some of your culture into some of the stuff that you do. Because there's people who've been really successful, like Domi Shi with Turning Red, and was that Bao, that short film. Those are great, and I watched those, and I was like, I see myself in there somewhere.
Yeah, because I will say, if I do, a lot of our mythology is really messed up. There's currently, I already know that there's an animated vampire flick about the Filipino version of a vampire, which is a Manananggal.
What's it called?
I forgot what it's
what's
called.
the name of the
name of the
vampire?
The Manananggal.
Manananggal.
So it's essentially just take the base vampire, and then literally split it in half, and that, like, its top body literally splits off, and it's like
Ew.
the middle hole is like a big mouth.
Okay.
It's got wings. It's crazy.
Huh.
Yeah. The other ones are like versions of like the chupacabra. There's my favorite one that my dad's told me is there's a real place in the Philippines that's a road with houses there, and there are massive trees that line it. And the trees are so big that the canopy itself goes over the road and blocks out light during even the daytime.
Uh-huh.
So when you drive down this road at nighttime, apparently there's like some ghost lady that appears in your back seat that just like apparently murders you or something like that.
Wow.
But yeah.
See, it's cool that like when you have stories and film like that, we're all human. We all have similar stories. Like when I watch a movie like Hereditary or Weapons, and they're all like, those are horror films with like all these fantastical things that go on, but through it all, you can still see the human story there, right?
Yeah.
Like Hereditary is about trauma of a family. That's what it's about. And all this stuff goes on, all this cult stuff and possession and stuff like that. But that's what it's about in the end, right? So I think it's cool when you have all the stuff go on, but you can still see a through line of what the human story is.
Yeah. I will say this is I think story is always going to keep on developing. Like, we're always going to see different stories being told. Of course, there's going to be the same base story that's going to be rehashed every single now and then because it's just a really human thing.
Yeah.
Like, already there is something called like the hero of 1,000 faces, which is a theory concept in writing, where it's like the same character you see is like chosen hero, chosen by something, mentor, god, a wizard, sent to the quest, discovers himself. That's like, we'll always see different stories, but I've always wanted to know, because I've asked this question to adults and young people. If you had kids like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, do you show them a movie that was developed then, or do you show them a movie that was made during your time? Or do you show them a movie that was made during your parents' time?
I have been showing my kids movies from my childhood. I think with my older son, I started with E.T. and Jaws and all the movies that kind of formed my childhood, because those are classics, and also they're really, really good films to start with. My daughter as well. And then most recently we finished Stranger Things, and my wife and her really got into that. They were never into it when it first started. Like, I was the only fan in the family until recently they started watching, and they're like, oh, this is really great. And then I got to share some nostalgia about D&D and, how I used to be a kid on a bike, doing newspaper routes and stuff. And I was like, that was like me. We never saw any Demogorgons. It wasn't that exciting, but, still. Because I think when you watch films from your childhood, you get to start talking about your childhood. And that's something as a parent you like to share with your kid. So I don't know about you, Mr. Choy. Like, have you been? Do you watch films with your kids?
My daughter and I connect over comedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we go through old SNL episodes, right? We're gonna go through some stand-up comedy, new and old. And then this summer, because Happy Gilmore 2 came out, we went back and watched the first one and, other movies that he's made. So my repertoire and the things that I've really enjoyed growing up is that.
Yeah.
The era of just box office comedies that just don't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
That you don't have comedians making movies because stand-up's kind of the way to go.
Yeah.
Right? Stand-up specials.
That's true.
And just the evolution of how comedy has kind of changed, right?
Yeah.
And like The Office. We love watching bits of parts of The Office together, and so that's kind of how we bond.
That's my favorite genre of film. It's just seeing comedy actors in really dramatic productions.
Sandler's one of them, right?
Yeah, Sandler's one of them.
Yeah.
Robin Williams in
Robin Williams, yeah.
Okay, and then the one now, Bob Odenkirk, is such a surprise. But I think
He's an
that's the
action
thing.
star
It's
now.
easier for comedians have always said it's a lot easier for them to go into dramatic roles than the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it is. Because I think there's tragedy in comedians' lives that they use for their comedy, and that's like almost like a coping mechanism for some of them anyway. To be able to laugh at things that nobody else might laugh at, or to say something shocking, just to point out that we're all human beings. It's just pointing out the facts.
Yeah,
right?
Like Jordan Peele from Key and Peele.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he came out with, when he came out with Nope, I'm like, is this the guy who did all that stuff?
Key and Peele.
Yeah.
I actually
Get
I remember,
Out.
Yeah, Get Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember his one interview was the reason why he went into directorial roles and not acting anymore is because he was originally supposed to be voicing the poop emoji from the Emoji Movie.
I just heard that too. And that was when he said that I'm done.
Yeah. and then they gave that to Sir Patrick Stewart. So that's a dramatic actor playing a comedic role, and that didn't work. So
Okay. Yeah, glad he went into directing for sure. Yeah. Well, it's been really good, David. Glad you were here today. You guys probably had some really interesting classes this afternoon. Too bad I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Really good to have you back. It's always good to hear what people are doing, and it looks like you're on the road to something really cool in your life, and you're doing some really cool stuff right now. But for free.
Yeah, but for free. Again, I love doing it, but at some point I do want to.
It's building up your resume.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate the time you've taken just to share with my class and just to be able to speak with Mr. Kong and I. But today I went deep into my archives of
Mr. Choi's pulling out a poster.
Yeah.
Some of the work. I know this is.
So
what is that?
These are some of the projects that David was a part of or produced. And just to remind you of how, your beginnings and how you started was at Delview.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
yeah,
your willingness to dive into not just design, but film and photography as well. Remember some of these photos?
I did love photography. I love capturing these things. Just so they're
There's a Fallout figurines. Did
it's
you
like
make
a box.
You made these minifigures?
Yeah, I think I did.
Fallout minifigures.
And then these were his animation drawings.
Yeah, animation drawings. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just to remind you of kind of where you started. I think a lot of times Mr. Kung and I have the honor of teaching students in these areas. They get to take classes with us, and then they go on, pursue these passions. And I think just to be reminded of kind of where it all started, right?
Yeah, because I did say during your class, I came into your media arts class thinking the only way I was going to get into animation was to be an animator. Almost the same way, if you watch films, the only two jobs are in that is an actor and a director.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know a writer existed until I took Chris's Farina's class.
Uh-huh.
But I still love doodling. I love drawing and just sketching stuff out. But to put it on myself to be good at it. So I'm going to get paid to put all these lines together and do that. I'm that is something I don't want to do. That's too stressful for me. I already have so much on myself to like even when I'm writing, like this could work, and it's kind of weird. But like with drawing, it's instant feedback of whether it's good or bad, and I could not handle that.
Yeah.
We need good writers.
Yeah.
I know.
We need good writers everywhere. Like writers make everything for any medium. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you chose that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, David, for
Yeah.
your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, you guys.
Come again sometime.
Yeah, 100%. If you ever see me in credits, that's when you call me up again.
All right, for sure. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.